So they've stolen the pipes from the outside of the building again. Copper pipes, metal, anything metallic, especially those brass taps, they're targets. We all know that. And it's happening ever so often, more and more so. In fact, in the last, I think, 48 hours, and that's over a weekend, two were reported to me. And yeah, I'm sure it's happening every single day. So when this happens, who pays the excess? Okay, not quite as simple as you would expect, but let's look at all of the scenarios. Let's start off by looking at the rule. So it's rule 23.2 in particular, and I'm going to run it here. So I'm going to run the rule right across the screen, and then you can have a look. So rule 23.2 says that a member is responsible, and then to subregulation B, or subrule B, I should rather say, for any excess amount that relates to damage to any part of the building that a member is obliged to repair and maintain in terms of the Act or these rules, and must furnish the body corporate with written proof from the insurer of payment of that amount within 7 days of written request. In a nutshell, the member is responsible for the excess when it pertains to damage to a part of the building which they, as the member, have a duty to maintain. Okay, so where does that lead us? So firstly, a member is responsible to maintain his or her own section. We know that. So it follows then that any copper pipes that are stolen from inside the section, say a person breaks in and they're just stealing stuff and they break and they steal material from inside a person's section, then of course the owner of that section would pay any excess pertaining to any insurance claim. Okay, I think that's quite logical. The other thing is a geyser. So that's often a target. So if the geyser is sitting on the outside of the building or sitting on the roof or somewhere where a thief can gain access, then the copper around that geyser and the bits and bobs around the geyser are often targets, and that would be deemed an owner's responsibility to maintain, and therefore, in terms of prescribed rule 31, and therefore it follows that the excess, in terms of the excess rule 23.2b, the owner would then pay the excess if somebody stole the copper pipes off that building. Right, so section and geyser. Then we come to the exclusive use area. Okay, the exclusive use area is quite an interesting one, and it parts in two ways. What do I mean by that? Okay, so if the pipes on the outside of the building, let's just say the exclusive use area garden, you walk out of your, let's call it your French doors onto your exclusive use garden, and then outside of, to say to the right against the wall, you've got copper pipes that run to your bathroom from, underneath the ground or whatever the case might be. And the thief jumps over the wall and comes and steals the copper pipes off that wall and runs away. Should the owner pay the excess or should the body corporate pay the excess? Well, my interpretation is if that pipe is not serving that exclusive use area, it's doing its job in the normal course. In other words, the pipe is still on common property. It has not entered the section yet. In my view, and that's the view of quite a few of the attorneys, that pipe is to be maintained by the body corporate, and therefore the excess is for the body corporate. The exception is when a copper pipe is running across the exclusive use area, which is serving the exclusive use area. And a good example, or the common example, I should rather say, would be the garden tap. So your garden tap with a pipe that runs is there to water that area. So that pipe and that tap would be part of the exclusive use area. And therefore, the enjoyer of that exclusive use area, who's financially responsible for that exclusive use area, would pay the excess. Okay, now the question is whether that excess would come out of the body corporate little fund, because maybe that owner, which should have been the case, should be paying into a exclusive use area contribution fund or exclusive use area contribution. There should be enough in that contribution to take care of a small asset, a small claim excess. However, if this has not been the case, and it's a body corporate like my own body corporate, when anything goes wrong in the exclusive use area, there is no exclusive use contribution, and therefore I must pay for it as the exclusive use area enjoyer. Lastly, of course, is the default for any otherwise common area pipes. That would be for the body corporate to pay the excess. Okay, so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And yeah, just if you want to have this in writing, there's a blog. We've got the link below to the blog article, and yeah, we're going to do a little bit more, a few interactive things around this article and this video as well, because I think it's quite a good different scenarios depending on where it is type of question. Okay, there you have it. Don't forget, please, by all means, like this video. Please share it with some of your colleagues, especially if you're a managing agent or some of your co-owners or trustees. Please share. And of course, most importantly, support us, subscribe. We don't want every Tom and Dick and Harry around the world subscribing. That's not what we're after. We're after trustees and managing agents to be subscribed, so that when we put the videos out periodically every 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks or so, that you're getting notified and you're receiving it. No funny business other than that. Subscribe now, please. See you later.